You think people are really gonna watch this?
They ain't got nothing else to do.
Right?
Word.
I ain't going on social media talking shit about TDS Radio. I know that much.
My man, Coach Block.
What's up, cuz? How we living?
You're rocking with TDS Radio.
Get it, Kim. All right. She got a vision, and she want us to execute this vision.
Ooh, man. That's what TDS is about today.
Ken and Kim are the two dopest siblings that I know.
All right, man. You ready?
I'm not ready. Are they ready?
Nigga.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man, Coach Block, one half of TDS Radio, and I'm here with.
Your girl so fab. Hey, y'all.
How is everybody doing? It is a terrific Tuesday, and we are back. We made it through the weekend into the first day of TDS Radio. How's everybody? Let's do.
It is Tuesday.
It is. Let's do a praise report.
A what?
A praise report. What is something to be thankful for?
Oh,
Wow.
well, in my job, we always say, "What's the best thing about your day?" Yeah.
So what do you got?
I woke up this morning. How about you?
Well, the I'm still on my fast. I'm making it. Oh man, I thought that might got at least a
Oh yeah, sorry, I was focusing. I'm
maybe
sorry.
a round of applause or something. I'll try that. We'll reset that one. So
My bad. Hold on.
we'll
wait.
reset that. We'll try that again. All right. So ready?
All right, there we go.
Okay. Hey, 11 days. I'm still on my fast. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I've cut out sweets. I've cut out bread. I've cut out sugary drinks. I've cut out basically all junk food, and I did it cold turkey, and that's it. And so I'm eating fruits, veggies, and the proteins I'm choosing are chicken and fish.
Oh, yeah. You want to keep up with it?
Yeah. Because I got through my pookie stages because I was out here. Now I'm on the other side, and now I'm like, okay, well, I feel better, so let's keep this up.
Yeah.
Will I eat sweets again? Yeah, but will I treat them as a normal part of my diet as I did before? No.
Okay.
So like, you know how I used to keep gummies around or keep something, a cookie or something? Nah, I won't do that. If I want it, I'll get it, but then that'll be where it cuts. You know what I'm saying?
Understandable.
Yeah. So instead of baking an entire pie and eating it, which is crazy work.
Have you done that?
Yeah. Hey man, I didn't get fat for no reason. But the thing is, I'm enjoying the process of coming down. And also, you get personal motivators. I got to remember to look over here now. You get personal motivators because my doctor is one of those doctors that's like, we'll see.
Like Dr. Now?
What is that? Who's
That's
that?
the doctor from My 600 Pound Life. He's not impressed with anything.
Yeah, my doctor's kind of like, yeah, we'll see. And I'm like, I'll show you I won't be fat. And I guess he ultimately wins because then I'm not fat. So,
Well, you win too. So yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And I do feel better. Today I walked 4 miles. And life was good. So we'll keep it up. We'll try to keep it up. No promises. Because life be life and I be needing stuff to get through.
Understand.
Because I don't choose to drink. So everybody has their own vice. You know what I'm saying? So mine is just to eat sweets. I keep forgetting the camera's over here now. So how about you?
What? Like the general public or me?
You.
As far as what I'm giving up?
Yeah. Have you done anything for like Lent or anything like that?
No.
Oh. Kim, give a praise report. Nigga, praise. Kim, you giving anything up for Lent? No. Okay.
I'll say this. I'm
All
not
right.
drinking as much.
All right. Okay, good.
Because typically wine is my best friend, but I haven't had a glass in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped drinking it like Christmas time. Like, so the stuff I had for Christmas is still in the refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to do any of that stuff right now. We got a lot of work to do. So
Yeah.
some of that stuff is just like, we'll celebrate once it's over. Speaking of a lot of work to do, if you guys have an opportunity to tune in to us on Saturday morning, we will be at the Holtz Foundation, and we will be there for their flag football. We are hosting it, so we will be going around to the tailgates, to their the actual flag football games, cornhole, and we'll be interviewing people and just having a good time. So follow TDS Radio and also follow the Holt Foundation so that you can see us and tap in with us and please support. These are the things that help us to get where we need to go. Then later that night, I'll be DJing. If you guys are in North Carolina, I'll be opening up for the Groove Me, and this is called the Red Light Party. So we'll be rocking and jocking all day long. Somewhere in there, I'm gonna have to get a nap because I'm old.
Yeah. What?
I don't know how I'm gonna be. By 11 o'clock, I might have to because see, it's wild because I can't DJ and then like take my shit down and leave right in the middle of somebody else's set.
You better than me.
You can't do that because last time I thought about it, but like I didn't know where the cords were attached. So I'm like, damn. Because when we did sound check, she put the cords all the way up. So I'd have been back by the drum. Boom, 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 boom. So can't do that. So
whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, we got a couple things going on, man. So definitely check us out. What's this say?
That's fire. I used to play flag football games through the YMCA.
Yeah, the whole do
come
this.
out. It's free, right?
Yeah, it's free. So if you guys want to come out, just at NC State, it starts at they ask the registrants, the people who are playing the games to be there at 7. But
a.m.
Yeah. So everybody registered by 7 a.m. So yeah, I'll probably be there.
Time we gotta be there?
I'll probably be there first, and then we'll pick up with you when you get there.
What?
Actually, I think they want some of the people there at 6 o'clock.
On a Saturday?
Yeah. So that they can get it done early. So the goal is to have everything done by 2.
Like, how about 12? What?
And you gotta, if it's supposed to be hot on Saturday, so they're also trying to beat the heat.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So if they can get it done and get in and get out, that's the goal.
On that field is crazy.
Yeah. So that's some of the things that we got going on. Tell us what you guys got going on in the chats. If y'all got something going on this weekend, then let us know. So we can support.
Because what, Bean? At 7 o'clock? You want me to be there at 7 a.m.? Like, that means I got to get up. I got to get myself together. Got to get dressed. Got to walk Mason. Got to drive and be there at 7. No,
you should bring Mason.
No, he don't like heat. And he don't like people.
Oh, then don't bring Mason. There'll be plenty of food. He'll like that.
Yeah. He'll stay up.
The food last year, was it last year? Yeah, food last year was absolutely, year before last was absolutely woo. And then there was food. Oh man, I'm fasting because there was drinks.
Yes.
Well,
yes, because people were tailgating.
We might break that fast on Saturday I won't do none of the sweets.
But the guy that had the barbecue, who had that, he made his own grill, right?
Yeah.
And it was an older gentleman, but he actually made it, had cast iron and everything in it. Man,
that food was delicious. When I tell y'all that food was delicious, it was delicious. Now, I think people had to pay depending on where you went to for the food, but we were judges, so we didn't have to pay. And because we're now hosting it, we're not paying.
No.
We're gonna eat that food. Like, man, when I tell y'all that food was delicious,
and it was fun to see all the people participate in the tailgate. So like some people did really clever themes. Some people had like different types of games. It was like what year was it? Was it retro?
80s.
Yeah.
Yes.
80s.
It was 80s. It was 80s. Nigga can't let me live. That didn't need to be discussed. It was 80s.
Because like when people say 7 a.m. Gabe, like you mean I have to physically be here, not waking up at 7 a.m. I have to physically be in place at 7. Oh man, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Whew. Ha. I won tickets for the comedy show with Samora and Lavelle Crawford this week, and I'm rocking. Yeah, appreciate you, Sid.
Dope.
Yeah.
That should be a good show. I enjoy both of those comics. Definitely Lavelle Crawford.
Our good cuz was, an extended sib. We'll call you that too. She was looking out for us this weekend. I really appreciate it. You be rocking hard with TDS.
What happened?
We can talk about it off air, but
Was there some hating going on?
not that there was hating, but it's just one of those things where people try to act like, oh, I didn't know. Yes, you knew.
Who didn't know?
No, we'll talk about it off air. Birthdays.
Put it in the comments. Who didn't know?
No, Jazz, don't you feed into the petty. Don't do it.
Who didn't know?
Don't feed into the petty. Anyway, this Saturday, if you guys are free, come hang out with us. You don't have to stay the entire time because
Was it family?
Birthdays.
It must have been somebody lying. Y'all know. Y'all see the damn shit on my Facebook every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Can you turn me up just a little bit?
I can. Yes, I can. Hold on. Give me a second. Which one are you? You're one?
No, not that part.
Oh, okay.
In the headphones.
I got you.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
You good?
Yeah, that's
right.
perfect.
There we go.
It must be family because everybody's
Don't do it, Jay. Don't do it.
laughing.
Don't do it. We'll talk about it off air.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying no birthdays till I know what's going on. Damn a birthday. Because I might say somebody's birthday that was talking crazy.
We'll talk about it off air.
Oh man. Why didn't you tell me that? You knew not to say it because I'd have started the show with that. And another thing. You black son of a.
No, it's just all. Oh, I ain't know. Oh, you knew. You knew.
It's hard not to know when it's on all of our social media. Is the person friends with us on social media?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is it a cousin that's older?
Thank you, Jay. No, I don't know how old they are. To be honest.
Okay.
But they're somewhere around. So
Yeah, ain't nobody
getting older.
Ain't nobody getting older around here. I'll be damned. I'm not saying nothing till I know what the hell's going on. What the hell?
We'll
Don't
talk
nobody
about it later.
know. What is today?
Today is the 11th.
Okay, well, I'll go back to the 9th. Or I'll go back to the 8th because our cousin was on the 8th.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to the 8th. Katina Finch, happy birthday. Don Fuller, happy birthday. Joe Salas, happy birthday. Joe. And Rainier Rackley, Coach Rack, happy birthday. That was March 9th. Athena Rose, our cousin, happy birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Davis Ja, happy birthday. That was on the 9th. Mark Mullins, happy birthday on the 9th. John Brown, great photographer here locally. If you have not gotten an opportunity to work with John, you should hit him up. He's dope photographer. He did some work for us at Enlow. Anita Jones, happy birthday. Paula Spearland, happy birthday.
Who are these people?
Kareem Biting, happy birthday. Rachel James, happy birthday. Tayon Thames, happy birthday. Curtis Bauer, happy birthday. Bill LaChance, happy birthday. And now we're on today. That's Shamar Reddick, happy birthday. Garrett Williams. I worked with Garrett in UPMC. Garrett was a cool dude, man. Garrett had lost, he was 300 pounds and had lost over 150 pounds naturally with no surgery or anything like that. Garrett was dope. And Garrett had a black woman. And Ryan Kennedy, everybody, happy birthday. Hold on 1 second. I want to make sure I'm right on this. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure I'm right. Just making sure. No, that's not it. I just wanted to make sure that this Paula wasn't GK's mom. Just making sure. Okay. All right. So, yeah, with that being said, happy birthday, man. We'll give everybody a happy birthday song. And 1, 2, and 3.
Y'all ready? Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
As the saying goes, continue to live life in a way that makes every day worth celebrating from the Sibs. And if you have a birthday that you would like to, from the Sibs, sorry. And if you have a birthday shout out that you would like to do, please make sure you reach out to us. You can shoot us inbox at info@tdsradio.com. Is that right?
info@tdsradio.com. Yes,
you can send us an email there and we can give a shout out. So if you want to do it in advance, please, by all means, make sure you take advantage of that. Also, if you have not had the TDS Radio app, you can download that now on your Apple Store and your Google Play Store at this time and jam out with the Sibs on there. Yeah. Okay, so we have a segment that we enjoy doing, and that segment is, you got your finger on the button.
Wait. No, hold on. Okay, I'm ready.
That's up. So today's version of this is, play the video.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
18-year-old Jayla Cunningham is charged with second-degree assault. I talked to her exclusively moments ago. She says that she did not know that her client was 15 years old. Meanwhile, I also spoke to the 15-year-old's mother, and she says that her daughter is traumatized over what happened. This video has been viewed millions of times, and she says that her daughter is viral and did not want to be. Let's explain what happened. In the video that has more than 54 million views, you can see 18-year-old Jayla Cunningham dragging her 15-year-old client by the hooded sweatshirt, saying,
"Sit right here until somebody says it. I'm not you just try to right? You lucky I ain't
Jayla claims the 15-year-old was trying to leave without paying for the $150 service that included a weave with tracks. Jayla cutting the weave out of the teen's hair with scissors because she says the teen did not pay for the service.
She ran, forget tried, she ran. But
what? Without sound, I'm confused on what I was looking. Who was getting dragged by their hair? The 15-year-old girl? No, I'm saying without sound right now. So is this young lady that's with the boots on the one that's the hairstylist, or the 15-year-old girl?
No. The one that was on the ground, that was the 15-year-old girl. The one with the boots is the hairstylist. So what happened was she was getting her hair done, possibly a sew-in or something along those lines.
And she dragged her out like that?
Well, she dragged her back in because she said the 15-year-old ran without paying for the service, the $150 service. So she said she went ahead and ran after her and drug her back by her hoodie. But the crazy thing is, now she's being
that's
charged.
Her hoodie, not her hair?
That's not her hair. That's the hoodie.
Oh,
but she did cut the hair out, like the weave that she installed.
Yeah.
She did cut it out because she said, she was trying to run, and she gave the girl a chance. She said, sit right here until someone sends me the money. But it was after the 15-year-old had ran is when she said, oh, well, she had allegedly sent the money to someone else's Cash App. So, yeah.
So what did the mom have to say?
Well, the mom is essentially saying, I think from what I'm getting from the story and from what I'm reading, the mom that it went viral, opposed to the principle of the matter of your daughter tried to run without paying this girl
15 years old.
Yes. So now the mom is bringing her up on charges, the hairstylist, and they have lawyered up. And the lawyers are saying that this is a horrendous, incident that has happened, and that she never should have done this, and blah, 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 blah. Now the hairstylist, she is saying that she didn't even know that she was brought up on charges until things had gone viral and that the TV station had showed up to her salon. And now she's had to change, where she's working out of, because she has received death threats.
I'm trying because I keep rewinding the video. Okay, so I thought that was her hair, so I did have a problem with that. She's dragging her by her hoodie.
Yes, she said
back into my salon.
Yeah, dragged her by her hood back into the salon until I could get paid, or until the police came. Or
did she know that Did she know that that girl was 15?
No, she said that when she booked that, she said that she was 18.
So when she booked, she was 18.
Yeah, allegedly she said she was 18 when.
So there was no reason for me to talk to you any different. Okay. So then why did mom send her to a salon without no money?
Well, no, allegedly she had the money.
But
the girl is saying, and the mom is saying, that she cashed out the money to the wrong person. And then unfortunately, when you cash after someone, you that's pretty much it.
Oh, well, we can solve all that. There's proof of that. So if they ain't in the phone that way, then bring your ass here.
Right.
And yeah, we're gonna cut this out. What? Why are y'all mad? I'm not. I think that's what should have happened to her.
Social media is in a tizzy.
For what?
Because some people are like, she never should have put her hands on her.
I'm the understanding that this girl is 18 years old. It appears to me that she's walking out without any explanation of where or showing me. Because maybe if she showed her, ma'am, I made a mistake. Look, I got to figure this out. Can I call somebody? And then you sat down and figured it out.
Right.
But when you try to run,
we got a problem.
I just gave you how many hours of service.
Right.
And now you tried to run. I'm supposed to let that go for free?
Right.
Selective outrage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am so tired of it. I am tired of y'all cousins. I promise you. I'm tired of y'all. Because what we get mad about is completely ridiculous. Yeah, you got dragged by. If it was her hair, then I'm like, ugh. But it was a hood.
Yeah, it was her hood.
Yeah, bring your ass back here. I need my money. I need my money.
I'm here for you replaying it like we are on the news.
Man,
yes.
I would have dragged her ass the same way. I would have dragged her the same way. Okay, so then if she steals out my store,
right,
I'm not supposed to chase her down.
$150 worth.
I'm not supposed to chase her down and get what I'm supposed to get. Okay, what if she was 15 in a bank and she tried to rob a bank? They would have shot her ass. So what are we talking about? I am tired of y'all. I am tired. We don't know what to be mad at.
Somebody said they paid the lawyer but couldn't pay the stylist. The math ain't mathing.
Nah, because the lawyer will take it early, thinking that they're gonna get paid on the back end. But I know one thing: if I'm the stylist, I'm holding my ground. I have the age that you are when you signed up for your service. Then I have the ability to see if you literally cashed app somebody else. If you didn't cash app anybody else, then you was trying to steal.
Right.
So then me grabbing you and pulling you back in the salon, you have my goods on your nappy head.
Right.
So because you have your goods on my nappy head, I'm going to cut my goods out and you leave the way you came.
Right. Right.
Simple as that. What?
Yeah.
The outrage is because, she's 15.
She's 15. Yes.
I didn't know she was 15.
Yes. And then even if she was 15, do I still let a kid run out on me for 150?
Hell, no, I was about to say, and even though she was 15, guess what? Guess what? I'm gonna do the same damn thing.
I was gonna say, I dragged you by your hood back into this. No different than somebody pulling you by your collar. And then she said, sit right here until we figure this out.
Back
or you pay me
in here.
And like you said, in that moment, first of all, before you ran, let's rewind it. If it was a mistake, why did you run? Why did you run?
Right.
Just call your mom.
I would have shown it right. I would have said, here, like, yo, call my mom. We got to go. Mom, I cashed out the wrong person. And then that's that. Now we got to figure out what we're going to do. Now, mom's going to be mad at you. You're going to get cussed out. But mom, you better bring this money or,
I can't leave.
Well, if you do leave, just know somebody will get in trouble because I do have a name and all that stuff on you because you filed for your hair to get done. So I got a name. And I might even have an address. So I'm going to file some papers on you because at this point in time, you stole from me.
Right.
So then I should be pressing charges.
Right.
So then if you press charges, then I should press charges. And then let's figure this out. Now, granted, the court fees is going to cost more than the hairstyle. But if we talk about damage and this could damage this woman's business because now, people are going to have to see this and it's viral. So people, I ain't going to her. She did that to a 15-year-old.
Right.
More 15-year-olds may need this done to them.
You know what?
I work with little kids all day. If you don't think at some point in time your level of frustration would drag a kid, it will. You stealing money? You stealing money?
And I've done your sewing.
I sat down and how long does that take in hours?
Sewings can definitely take about 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on how much hair, depending on if she made her wash it, if she had to braid it down, the style, the cut, all of that.
I wish we'd have known this was. I wish I'd have known this one because we could have had our hairstylist Key Essentials on to tell us what she would do because that's funny. I'm curious to know what she would do.
She probably would cut that damn hair out of her head too. You're going to pay me. Like you can't. And like I said, once again, if it was a mistake, then why did you run?
Well, I
did you
will tell
run
you
for?
this though. Back in the day, in the barber shop, that happened more times than a little bit. Barber get done, dude be like, yeah. And when he hand the mirror back to dude, out of there.
What?
Out of there.
That's crazy. And I mean, that's the other thing. This may have been seen as like a prank because there are people who are doing stuff like that on social media where it's like, oh, well, I'm gonna go and get, these goods, or I'm gonna go and get my hair done, or I'm gonna get a service, and then I'm gonna run. So ain't no telling. I guess she didn't think that her ass was gonna get dragged like that.
Hilarious.
Bean, I have no idea how the video got out. I literally don't have any. It may have been, something to where the person who owns the building may have dropped it. Who knows? I heard she didn't know she was 15 and that she was supposed to be 18. Yeah, to get her hair done alone. Right. Also, at the end of the day, she is 18. She is still a child. She is not going to make rational decisions right away. Yeah, that's true as well. There's probably more involved if she was 15 in advance, like being yes, absolutely. Shoot, technically, if they were in high school, she would have been a senior and that girl a freshman. The video wouldn't have been that viral. All valid points. All valid points.
Bring that ass here. I'll grab you just like Mortal Kombat. Come here. You got my money in your hair. I'll drag her the same way. And then we're gonna call your mom because I'm gonna lock these doors.
Right.
Even if she didn't want to cut the hair out, what you're gonna do is I'm gonna drag you in here. We're gonna lock these doors.
Yes.
And then we're gonna call the police first. And then while I'm calling the police, call your mom and get my money.
And that's what essentially she said. She was like, you gonna sit here until either you pay me or the police come.
I don't see no problem with it.
I don't either. I don't.
But we raise little thieves. So
Right.
people think that it's okay and people are entitled to do whatever they want to do. And we just bow down to kids. I'm not on that train. I promise you I'm not on that train. You did wrong. You should feel the punishment to what it is that you've done. You should feel that.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got to sit there. Hey man, you talking to a dude that had to return to California raisin, baby, when I was only 9 years old. I stole from the store and had to take back a California raisin at 9 years old. And it only cost $3. I couldn't imagine at 15, 150.
That California racist story always tickles me.
It shouldn't.
Because is that the
Is that goddamn California raisin I told you couldn't get?
Nigga got caught up again.
Terrible thief. Short story. So my mother and father gave me change before school. And I've always been an entrepreneur mind person, right? So I would, sometimes have bubble gum, and the bubble gum, people would pay for it on the bus before we get to school. So you figure back in the day, Bubblicious only cost you a quarter to 50 cents. But then you would have 5 pieces in there, right? So then I figured if I bought more bubble gum, I could sell the individual pieces for a quarter and 50 cents, which people did actually buy from me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would go to my dad's change because he had this back in the day, we got Happy Meals in pumpkins, like when it was Halloween. Like they don't do that anymore. But it was like a plastic pumpkin that you got your Happy Meal in. Our dad would keep change and ones in there, like little stuff, little bills, nothing big, but little bills. So I would just occasionally stick my hand in there and, whatever was in my palm, I rolled out the crib with it. So sometimes it was $1, sometimes but it was enough to get the gum.
Yes.
So I would buy the gum before class started at the grocery store, which was directly across the street from us. Then I would go to the bus stop and I would get my hustle on. I'm selling, the gum to my students, my peers, a quarter a bit. So you figure 50 cents is what it's costing me. There's 5 to 6 inside. I'm getting a quarter. Hey, man, I'm Nino Brown. I am winning out here because I got all your flavors. So then you get to school and you put it inside the locker at the top. They're coming to me in between class. Hey, man, let me get a piece of gum. Man, give me my quarter. Give me a quarter, piece of gum. This is at 5th grade. Promise you, 5th grade. Miss Jacobs, because she was the one who ratted on me. But I ratted on myself first. Because my mom picked me up early from school one day. And this is how drug dealers really get caught. Because things get so good, you forget. So I'm the pusher in the school. Everybody's coming to me. I'm the candy man, baby. So I offer my mom gum. And I say, hey, Mom, you want some gum? And she, not thinking, says, yeah, I'll take some. So I open the locker, and at the top of the locker was my candy store. Needless to say, my ass was beat that night. Because why do you have this? And does the teacher know?
Teacher ain't gotta know.
I lied, as usual, and said, yeah, she knew. She asked. Miss Jacobs snitched on me. I had no idea he was doing that. Ass was beat that night. Then the following question was, where'd you get the money from?
Ooh, yikes.
So my dad goes at laughing. He must have took the change out of the pumpkin. I had been doing this every day for at least about a month or so. And so I wasn't buying my lunch, right? I had the lunch ladies convinced that, we were just going to charge it to the game. Well, a lunch bill showed up to the house.
No, I didn't know this part.
I wish she was alive because she would have told you this story. She would get mad to this day. This mother, he gonna charge lunch like we got money. So at the end of the quarter, they got a bill for lunch because I was using the money that I was getting from them to buy gum and taking my dad's money at the same time.
How much was the bill?
The bill was like $200 something.
Yikes.
Because I was charging my lunch every day.
Ooh.
And she was like, how the hell do you got it so good that you could just walk in the cafeteria and just charge lunch? I don't know.
Without a bill.
I'm the candy man, baby. I ate every day.
This is why you always speak from a place of privilege. Because what?
Every day. Them lunch ladies fed me. We laughed. We talked. I walked. And I'm thinking they just let me slide. Nah, them niggas said the bill on me.
Not at Colfax. That bitch said, you owe us. You get this peanut butter and jelly. So I was like, bitch.
Yeah. So, yeah. Needless to say, that's how I got my ass beat for that. So, for a 15-year-old to steal a $150 hairdo,
yeah,
I do believe that she should have gotten dragged. But once again, we're not dragging her because she's 15. We're dragging her because at this time, she thought she was 18 years old.
Yes.
So I do think maybe 9 times out of 10, if she thought she was, or she knew she was 15, she probably would have immediately contacted her parent. At 15,
I think she's
I don't know. Because, at 15, you know that you're putting your hands on a minor. 18 years old, you registered for 18, and it looked like the hairstylist wasn't much older than her.
Yeah, she was 18.
She was 18 too? Yeah, so it's 18, it's a fair fight. 15, I'm going to call your mom or something because somebody got to pick you up.
Yeah.
But
unless you Ubered.
Which is even, see, that's crazy too. That 15-year-old should have never been there in the first place without an adult to pay for that bill.
Well, like, Lena was saying, some places won't let you get an appointment without an adult. So if mom is saying, oh, I can't go, just say you 18.
Correct.
So, and now you made national news. It had 52 million views and you've been dragged on social media. But the mom, I guess, is saying that she has the last laugh because she's pressing second-degree assault charges on the hairstylist.
Yeah, I hope she loses. They should probably just drop that.
Yeah, I would.
And call it a day.
Yeah.
So we're about to change gears because we have a guest in, and we're gonna be talking about some DEI information, because that's important, and we're gonna have a good time. So just sit back, relax. We're gonna adjust the cameras and everything, and we will be right back with you. This is TDS Radio, our voice, our culture. Peace. Hold on.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. Okay, we're back. TDS Radio. We have a guest,
Yes,
as you
we
can see.
do. So, y'all, cousins, please welcome our other cousin to the show, Miss Sally Starfield. Now, if you guys watched Fuck Up Nights, she was actually one of our speakers where she told the story of how she was helping a friend and gave her $1 million idea. And unfortunately, because the contract wasn't present, the friend took off and she did not get any residuals from it. So she is a phenomenal woman, has an extensive background in HR, and she knows this shit like the back of her hands, and also is very well versed in DEI. You've heard us talk about it ad nauseum on this show, but we really want to clear up, some of the misconceptions when it comes to DEI, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, say hello to your people.
Hey, y'all. I am so excited to be here. I am Sally Starfield, and if you watch this show regularly and you follow the comments, somewhere about 9 o'clock when I'm on my second glass of Cabernet, I start chiming in a lot. A lot of fire emojis, a lot of smiley hearts and winky eyes. Yeah, just the third glass of Cabernet, the comments get better. As well as the content of the show,
obviously. So since this is your first time, we are going to go ahead and jump into the messy letter just so you can get a feel for the foolishness that we have to endure. If we have to endure it, then you will too, because these people are genuinely asking for help, but sometimes what they write is absolutely absurd, and you would think that, oh, they're joking. No, they're not. So are you ready to help someone possibly?
I'm here to save a life.
Okay.
And I'm not a doctor. So let's save a life. Did
right.
they write them directly to you all? Or
That's how we get them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time for the messy
letter.
Let's do it.
All right. This one says, please help. My married affair partner broke my heart. At first, he proposed a sexual relationship, but he did so knowing I had feelings. And I thought maybe he felt the same and was miserable in his marriage. He then opened up to me about how much he struggles. He's there for the kids. He feels alone. And today, when I had enough 3 years later, he said his relationship is great. And he had sex with me to keep him young. But he told me other things, crying emoji. I can't believe I fell into this. I am ashamed, hurt, and can't believe I did this. I don't understand why I am so hurt, although I want to be done. Any advice is appreciated. Thank you.
I've been married to a woman for 20 years, so I don't know if y'all want my advice or not. A woman would not do you like that. That's the first thing I'm going to say. No, not. I'm married and then I'm having sex with you to keep me young. No. So I need to cogitate on that one because I just don't know that I can help her. Do y'all give out like discount codes for BetterHelp?
You know what? That's a good idea.
You should partner with them. That's
should.
a marketing plan right there, marketeer. Yeah. Do people know that that's your real job? That you're like this marketing expert?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay. I just let the cat out of the bag because you know what? You're about to make $1 million referring people to BetterHelp.com.
Right. Because these people have some legit issues.
Yeah.
And she's serious. Like she wants help.
I want her to have help. I mean, I also want her to have a lady partner if that's what she wants too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound that's what she wants. So I don't know. Help her, Ken. What's she need?
Mm-hmm. Y'all know my advice usually starts with self. And at this point in time, you have to do an assessment to see if this is what you truly believe you deserve. I think if you do some deep soul searching, you'll realize that it's not. And you'll also think about things, or I'm asking you to think about something like this. The person who you're sleeping with, you knew they were married, right? There were vows that this person has given. The one thing that me and my friend always joke about is the main difference between us and animals is morality. Now, how you believe you get to a point of having some type of morals is on you. But to be able to have some morals about you, it should weigh on your decision making. Now, if you choose to negate your morals, there are consequences that come with that. this is a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a stronghold and a tie to a person who has no investment in you whatsoever. Now you have to decide how you want to cut it. Now, you can't push something that's not there. There is no relationship.
Mm-hmm.
In your mind, you think there's a relationship, but there is no relationship. And it appears that this person, this gentleman, has said you were basically the side piece. You were the jump off, and you helped me ignite my relationship again.
Yes.
Now, of course, that hurts. And I wouldn't sit there and say to anybody that, oh, well, your feelings don't matter. Absolutely, your feelings matter. But you also have to be accountable for your half of this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And your half is you knowingly slept with a married person. There's consequences to the game. Now, people can choose to play the game how they would like. I tend not to try to tell people how to live their life. You have the free will to do what you want, but you also have to understand that by doing that, there are consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the consequence that she is unfortunately experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
The move forward is to assess how you feel about you. Because if you feel as though this is all you deserve, then you probably need to talk. Maybe we should partner with betterhelp.com.
Right. Right.
If you feel that this is all you deserve, that you don't deserve your own experience of love, your own experience of, sharing vows and being married with someone. If you don't feel like you deserve your own, then yes, then there's somebody that you probably should need to talk to professionally. But if your morals have kicked in and you're like, yeah, this just isn't right, it's okay to break the stronghold, and you're going to have some bad days ahead where you're just emotionally attached. But it's better to separate now than to continue this and continue the drama, because right now it appears that the wife doesn't know.
No. She doesn't mention that the wife knew, but the crazy thing is this has been going on for 3 years. So for 3 years, you've been content with being the other woman.
There's songs made about this shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And these songs come from true experiences. The issue is, when do you decide that you've had enough?
Right.
Because truth be told, and I know men probably get pissed off at me, you control all the cards. Because if you want to just show your ass one day and start telling everything that's going on, you could ruin his life.
Which, that's another messy letter. We'll talk about that one tomorrow, because that shit's crazy.
So you can ruin his life if you want to. You really actually have way more power than what you think. It appears that he has the juice, but really you have the juice.
Yeah, because I'm like, first of all, how doesn't the wife know? And then 2, for you to break it off and then be like, oh, I only had sex with you because I was young. You don't realize her mental capacity or her mental state. She may at some point just be like, you know what? Because you fucked around with me, I'm going to now tell your wife. And now you're jeopardizing everything, because it looks like, he has kids with his wife, everything seems to be going well. And it's like, this woman can turn your life upside down, especially if she's saying, I'm so brokenhearted, I don't know what to do. There's no telling if she'll spiral or not.
She will. That's why I said you're going to have some dark days ahead, because you've built a bond with somebody over 3 years. That to dismiss that already, we are trying to control how somebody's emotional state is, and you can't do that.
Right.
So you're going to have some hurt. The question is, how are you going to deal with said hurt? Because the information has already been presented to where the stakes now. Like, you helped me, you played this role, adios. Ouch. That's a stinger. I mean, to any human being, that's going to be a stinger. Even if you knew, it's still going to hurt, because it's not dismissing the fact that you and I had a bond.
Right.
The problem is, you're going to be accountable for you alone. So you're not going to have somebody rubbing your back saying it's going to be okay, because who do you go tell this to?
Yeah.
Because the first thing people are going to say is, well, he was married.
You knew he was married.
What could you expect?
What kids?
So you're eating this by yourself. That's why my thing is, you're going to have to seek some help, because you got to be able to talk about it. Because if not, you're going to push it down, and then now it becomes trauma that is unhealed, which we don't want that. But it's going to be some dark days ahead.
Yeah. Agreed. And I mean, you are so empathetic. For me, I'm like, unfortunately, sis, I don't feel sorry for you. You knew what it was.
So the reason why I feel empathetic is because I've seen the game played, and sometimes you're giving people everything that they want, right? That whole fantasy.
Mhm.
And it's easy for somebody to slip into it. And then once they slip into it, now you're like, I'm good now, thanks. That sucks, man. And yes, it's wrong. Once again, I'm not saying she was right. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying two people shared emotions for 3 years, and then now one person is like, I'm good.
Mhm.
That to me is bullshit.
Mhm.
Like,
See, this sounds like the beginning of a Snapped episode. I mean,
yeah, that's bullshit. You gotta, and then he gotta figure out, because it is bullshit, you gotta figure out how to maneuver, because now this person is left with holding all those feelings that y'all had in their hand by themselves.
Right.
That could be crucial to whatever it is that you think of your life. Because a wife can be told, things can be damaged.
Mhm.
We've seen, people lose lives over stuff like this.
Yes.
So that's why I say I'm kind of empathetic, because yeah, she was wrong. Yeah, it was 3 years, but then there's two sides to it. So that person also, to continue those years, kept feeding something to this person to keep them.
Well, that's what she said, because in the letter she said, hold on, let me go back. She said, but he told me other things. And then you have the crying emoji. So we don't know what those other things actually are.
I'm
you know?
leaving. I'm leaving. You blame everything on the wife. She's terrible. She's this, she's that, blah, 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 blah. And then because he's doing these things with you, you feel like, oh, well, it's easy for me to just slide into that role. And he's like, we're better now. Sorry. Ouch.
Yeah.
You know? And so because of that, that's why I can't, while I'm saying like, well, you knew he was married in the beginning, but here's how we fix it. That's why I can't look at it and be like, well, oh, well, sis. Nah, because she might have met him and he never expressed that he was married in the beginning, and it eventually came up. You know what I'm saying? So then now this could be multifaceted.
Well, she did say my married affair partner.
Well, now you got to say it now. You know what I mean? Because you got to, in her mind, she has to make sense of it, right? Because people fight for roles and titles. So then that's what she did. My married affair partner. My situationship. That's a thing. Like, that's literally a cultural thing where people say, I have a situationship. So I think, tell me if I'm wrong, this falls underneath situationship, doesn't it?
Not really, because situation is like both of y'all are single, but you're not really in a relationship. So it's just kind of like, you're just a situationship.
We called that Friends with Benefits in the 90s.
Right.
There were movies about it.
Right.
That's my college days.
Yeah, exactly. Friends with benefits. Yeah. Now it's a situationship.
Yeah. Because it's like y'all shouldn't really be together.
This is just you a cheating ass.
You're out here cheating. you're out here cheating.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but I've always seen situationships where it's like you're both single, but y'all messing with each other. You're not really messing with each other. You shouldn't be together, but you are together. So yeah.
What does that say?
He's using her and now he's done. Yeah.
That's it.
We've seen that happen before, so it's like, I've used you for 3 years. Like you said, now I'm in a good space, wife is good, kids is good. So thanks.
And I'm out.
Yeah.
And that's terrible. To treat somebody like that is terrible. Like, just flat out, it's terrible.
But then, yes, it is terrible. And I will say, this is where people allow delusion to take over, because he's married. So at any point he could have ended this, or the wife could have, paid you a visit and things could have gotten ugly. There's never anything good that comes out of being,
the side chick or dude.
Yeah.
No, you're heading down the lane of hurt. So I don't know. I would hope that this person, because the last question was what now?
Please advise, help.
Was it?
Yeah.
If that was it, it was please advise.
Yeah, please advise.
Okay.
What should I do? And how do I stop feeling this way, essentially?
Oh, you can't stop feeling. You can't cut feelings. That doesn't happen. You have to work through them. And that's where seeking someone is where you're going to have to get the tools to do it. Because most of us are not equipped to just be able to be like, all right, flip, I'm done. Literally, that is okay, so I got to watch how I say this next piece, because you know my profession is in mental health, literally that is a form of autism. So when you're able to just go flip and then now you have no more feelings whatsoever, that is people who are on the spectrum, they do experience that. But once again, I've said it here and I said it a million times before. We are all on the spectrum somewhere. The spectrum is so vast that we all have our little quirks. So when people say, "Oh, it's my quirk," no, that's something that is probably on the spectrum.
And to be fair, I do agree with that because I'm just like, that's not normal. But in my head, I'm also thinking of all the possible outcomes to prevent myself from being disappointed, which isn't good either. So when it does happen, it's like I like, what's his name? The dude on Marvel, Doctor Strange. I've thought of every single possible situation. So when that situation pops up, I'm like, all right, I knew this was going to happen. So anyway, what's for lunch?
Two different people. I'm the Care Bear. Like, why did you do this? So I'm the complete opposite.
How are you, Sally? Like, how do you deal with heart? Well, when you were dating, how did you deal with heartbreak?
Okay, it was the 1900s, y'all. Like, I've been married 20 years. That is not true. I have been with my wife for 20 years, but we were not married because it was not legal in North Carolina.
That's right.
So we waited till it was legal, and it was the gayest of gay years, 2014, 2015. Every weekend we were at a wedding.
Yeah.
Every way. So many rainbows. Like it was
over it.
It was a lot of Mamma Mia, like on the dance floor. It was a lot of show tunes with the men. But yeah, like but more of what I'm thinking about, I'm not thinking about this from my lens. As a middle-aged woman who's happy in a monogamous relationship, I do understand that because I've hired so many Gen Z and millennials, hundreds every year in the positions I've had at work, and not everybody is monogamous. Where it gets messy is if somebody's like, you know what, I'm not monogamous in my heart. Like, I don't buy the whole fairy tale of a soulmate and one person. But when they pick a person who has done that and who has made the commitment, that's where it's messy.
Yes.
Right. And so what I don't know what we call the letter writer, Miss Messy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Messy.
So Miss Messy, what I want you to know is we listen and we don't judge, clearly. Wait, are you judging?
No.
I want to make sure. I didn't think so. Okay, so we listen and we don't judge. And this is what you've been doing for 3 years, but what have you been missing for 3 years?
Yep.
Right.
And what do you want to be doing in your next 3 years? So are you playing the short game or are you playing the long game? If he is on family vacations with his wife and kids, where are you?
Yeah.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And how are you living your best life? Not to turn this into the Oprah show, but you deserve your best life.
Absolutely.
Everybody deserves their best life. And so your best life may or may not be with him. And it sounds like it's not with him because you wrote a messy letter.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So I just want you to know that you're stronger and smarter than and you deserve way more than you've been accepting for 3 years.
And that's a good point too, because some people will be in the affair, they'll be the other person, but they're still living their life where it's like, we have this agreement where, when you call or I call, we do what we do, but I'm still over here while you're with your wife.
Right.
Yeah, I used to joke with our mom, not that she was into that type of stuff, but she just was a serial dater, which me and her, I always said, I didn't believe there was any problem with it. And she was able, similar to you, I guess that's where you get it from. All right, feelings cut. You, next date. Let's go.
Let's move on.
But I would joke and say to her, why don't you just tell your guys straight up, our time together is our time together. Our time apart is our time apart. So love me with your mind first and not your heart. Because all those guys would start to, I love you. And it's like,
yeah,
you won't be here long, dude.
Yeah. I've actually told one that. I'm like, you're not going to be here long.
She was a serial dater.
Yeah. And sure enough, he wasn't there long.
Yeah. Then she got mad. Why would you say that? Because it's the truth.
It's the truth.
She used to get mad when I say that. Oh, I said that little rap. Time together is our time together. Time apart is our time apart. So love me with your mind and not your heart. Don't say that. Then I'd be like, well, who's he?
Hey, stepdaddy number 37.
Who's this guy? All right. So there's some truth to what I'm saying. If you're going to play, that's the thing about this game. That's why I keep saying, like, this game is so vicious because there are people who play it, but they still have a heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's no judgment in me, because your character is to love. You were loving another human being and shit went wrong because you happen to love somebody who is married. But you got to accept the consequences of the shit that you just did.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you knew he was married, it was either a decision to stay or go. You decided to stay and continue to ride this out. Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's not saying that your feelings weren't valid, because you did share something.
Mm-hmm.
But now, no different than anybody that experiences heartbreak in a relationship, you got to do the work so that you don't stay stuck. Just like you said, you got to live life. And let's look at the benefits. You didn't get pregnant.
I was thinking that every time you said consequences, chlamydia came to mind. I am watching that show. What's it called? Running Point, and there was an episode about
Kate Hudson.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest basketball fan ever. So I'm. Every time you say consequence, I think chlamydia. And then I was like, oh, yeah. And she could get pregnant. She's young.
Yeah.
We've got that. This is a hetero couple.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. This is
You
good.
won. Okay. You enjoyed it some time, all that. Get out now and go live your life.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that, and the tone of the letter sounds like it may be a younger person.
Mm-hmm.
So go enjoy. You have the world to do whatever it is that you want to do. The beauty is you don't have any attachment, and he does. He got to turn around and answer to somebody. You have to answer to nobody. I did what I did.
Mm-hmm.
My heart got broke. I'll do the work. I'll go out, date, do whatever the hell I want to do. Have a party about the shit. Do whatever you want to do.
Whatever.
But just don't go back. Don't do that.
Because it'll happen. You know, once things get bad between him and his wife, and it's like, well, you know, I've been missing you.
I remember what we used to have. And at that time, you send a picture of you holding a gun.
What? Wow.
Oh. This just got dark.
Because leave me alone. Because the one thing is, when you do the work, and I know if men who are watching this, you're going to be like, he's hating. When you do the work, 9 times out of 10, that's where the person comes back like, hey, I've missed you.
Yes.
And it's like, you've taken all this time to exercise this person out of you physically, mentally, all that stuff. And then now here they come again, trying to latch on those strongholds again.
Yeah.
Show your gun, and then that'll, leave her alone.
Or just make sure they're blocked on everything. And then when they do that, hey, stranger, block them again. They
hey,
always, hey, stranger, how you been? Blocked. We're not doing
They
this.
always come
They
back.
always come back. They always, no matter what, they always come back. And it's just like, you can't be fucking serious right now.
It's usually after midnight, and it's usually with some whiskey. Or maybe that's just a country song. It's a really bad country song. But yeah, they always come back. And he's already built a life with
Hey, Mr. Purvis.
He's already built a life with someone.
Yeah.
And Miss Messy, I want that for you. I don't
Absolutely.
know. I don't know that you've built a life with someone yet.
Mm-mm.
And you've done, you know, the Christmas vacations together and gone to somebody else's parents' house and done all the awkward Thanksgivings with their weird aunts and their, you know, creepy uncles. But that's how you build a life with somebody, right?
Come on, Uncle Creepy.
Could you? Oh, only I have a creepy uncle who gets drunk at Thanksgiving.
Absolutely
Just
not.
me, apparently.
That's like a common thing amongst everyone. The creepy uncle.
What, like who? Like
No, we
and then there's the uncle that everybody loves who doesn't have any teeth. I know my Uncle John's not listening, so I'm just gonna say my Uncle John has had like 2 teeth since 1975. And I love that man so much. And
Shout out to Uncle John.
He is at
And his 2
every,
teeth.
yes. Like, how did he not lose those since 1975?
just get him pulled at this point.
Yeah, but he's awesome. Like, and so I wouldn't miss like a gathering with him. But yeah, like that's how you build a life, you know.
Yes.
And then my
Mhm.
aunt, my wife and I have our stories about Uncle John
Mhm.
together. Like, it's not like I have to, you know, relish all this by myself. Like we can
Right.
laugh
Yeah.
about Uncle John.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like you said, you're owed that. So to go around thinking that, you know, your only purpose in life was to share a man, come on, let's be real. Unless that's what you agreed upon. Because to your point, some people say, like,
Yeah.
okay, I am in a non-monogamous, a poly, whatever relationship it may be. And then it's like, okay, so now we all have a mutual understanding.
Mhm.
Right.
But obviously he is in a should have been a monogamous
Which
marriage.
is why I'm saying, brothers, there's no reason to even lie anymore. Just be straight up.
You've seen the dating profiles.
And I've also seen the Facebook group Polyworld.
Mhm.
There's no reason to lie about any of this stuff
No,
anymore. If this is
no.
what you're into, there's literally couples who are saying we're looking for a third.
A
Like,
unicorn.
And you don't have to be a Mormon.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can still drink Diet Pepsi and have multiple
Yeah.
partners. Right?
You don't have to be a Mormon.
There you go. Modern world.
There
I
it
didn't
is.
realize that was a thing until like last year. I was like, oh, you guys have multiple partners.
Yeah.
Oh, and you don't drink
Sister
caffeine.
Watch?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
miss Sister
I
Watch?
didn't know he was Mormon. I just thought it was like his thing.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's a whole
It's a
religion
whole
like
thing.
backed
Yeah.
by the Bible.
Right. Yeah.
It's
And
a
I've
move.
seen the documentary. I was like, this is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you did not see my air quotes, the Bible, I do. Yeah, I am not endorsing Mormonism or not drinking Diet Pepsi. not drinking, not
I had
endorsing.
no idea that was the thing. I was like, oh, you guys
Definitely
don't drink
is a thing.
coffee or pop or anything. And when I went to Salt Lake, I was like, oh, this is a thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
That's a thing.
Okay. So as Sally has deemed you Miss Messy, yeah, just get the help that you need.
Mhm.
Really
And
fall
start
into your community.
Loving you.
Yeah. And know
Mhm.
that you deserve better. And block him because he will be back. Things are okay now, but just like anything, marriage just has its ups and downs. And as long as he knows that he has you in his back pocket, he's going to come back.
Yes.
And all it's going to take is that one little text message to get those heart, eyes back and the butterflies fluttering. Block that man and go on about your day. It's not worth it.
There we go.
And then hit him with the, do you want me to tell your wife? And I bet you he'll stop replying.
Mhm.
Because I'm sure she's on social media.
Immediately. That'll be done.
Yep.
Okay. So let's get into some more conversation.
Yes. A very important conversation.
So we want to talk about, because you have dealings in HR and et cetera, and building businesses and such, we would like to discuss diversity, equity, and inclusion with you. The importance of it, or if you feel like there are gray areas of it,
Mhm.
but just what are some of the misunderstandings that people have? Because now you see the battle of who
Mhm.
DEI is for, and you see Black people saying, "Hey, it wasn't for us," and then you see people saying, "Oh, it was for white women," and then
Mhm.
you see people say it's not even important. What is the truth?
And it's now being considered like a new slur.
Yes.
You know?
Right. So what is the truth? Oh, and then the other question I seen was, what is the difference between affirmative action and DEI as well? So
Mhm.
what is all of this gumbo that we have of misunderstanding and truths and fallacies and all that stuff? What is DEI?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Mhm.
So DEI is a policy.
Mhm.
So DEI is policy, but what right now that we're seeing very politicized
Mhm.
is, we are not going to have male, female, non-binary,
Mhm.
or transgender on forms. We are on any kind of government forms. We are seeing that our government is, and I'm not even going to call it our government. I'm going to call it Trump,
Mhm.
and his little puppets. So they are saying that we can't have transgender people in the military. So those are not policies. That is against the law. So we have protected classes based on Title VII, which goes back to the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Mhm.
And so that is race, your gender was not included originally. So gender identity and sexual orientation have only been added since 2021.
Okay.
But race and creed and color, that was originally from 1964. Religion was there. Do you know that the Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act was just added in 2023?
No, I didn't know.
So we are just now recognizing employees with protections who have been in the workforce all along. Right. So those are laws. So those are protected classes. And no matter what our government says, they can't just by executive order say, you are not going to be protected in your workplace if you are based on your religion, your sexual orientation, your gender identity, your religion. So, because this is held up by the Supreme Court, like this is law. So, our government and the media, the right-wing media, has conflated DEI with this, and that's just it's not a law, it's policy. So it is policy based on different companies and what they value and things like that. And so what they can say is we're not going to have quotas. So quotas is where like affirmative action comes in. So we want this percentage of this background, this demographic, it's usually based on race, for admitted into this university class.
Correct.
Okay. But that was deemed not okay by the Supreme Court 2 years ago, and that it came out of UNC Chapel Hill, by the way. I go for the other blue, by the way. And I did work at Duke University, the other blue, for 14 years. But that's a difference there. And so, but these policies, DEI policies, what a lot of people don't realize is this includes disability. So DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is diversity only means the presence of difference. That is all that word means. It is so loaded, it is so politicized. Means the presence of difference. So anywhere you walk into and there are people, you have diversity because you're going to have different ages. You're going to have different religions. You're going to have different ability levels. You're going to have people with different military status, veteran status. So that is a big difference. And the other thing that, like, when we say DEI, like, then we're talking about children with IEPs in school.
Correct.
You know? And so, like, really?
Right.
We're going to take away federal funding from kids who need it the most.
Yes.
And
it's terrible.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And so, I provide a lot of professional development to companies and nonprofits on HR law and on diversity, equity, inclusion, microaggressions, that kind of thing. And sometimes it in the past, it has been court ordered because there is a problem. So based on religion, based on gender identity, based on sexual orientation, there was one of the biggest ones I've ever had to, it seemed like ongoing. We had to train every person in a manufacturing company, 650 employees in a week because of the court order. And then we had to go to another state and train all of their management team. And it was based on religion. So it's just, it's so messy. All of this is messy. But the issue now is I was doing a training last week in Eastern North Carolina, which is a little more conservative. So a few weeks ahead of time, I was told that because I do this for an HR membership services company, they're one of my clients as an HR consultant. So they said the client has read your bio and they asked that you not mention DEI at all because they're a conservative company. And so I said, I can stick to the script, make sure that, I tell them what the laws are, but let me look at what the title is. And the title was Inclusive Communication and Sensitivity and Professionalism. And so I'm like, and there was anti-harassment in there too. So it's like, how do you leave out inclusion? Because we want to include everybody.
Right.
But one of the questions that I asked was, do you have federal contracts? And they said, yes, we do. So they're worried about losing their federal contracts if they are using any of their time with diversity, equity, and inclusion. I can tell you there's a pharmaceutical company, an ethical pharmaceutical company in RTP, and they literally lose money on purpose to give a life-saving drug to the VA, to veterans.
Yeah.
So they do this on purpose, but in order to do that, they have to have those federal contracts. So when all of these executive orders started coming out about you can't, you'll lose your federal contracts, you'll lose your federal grants if you are supporting DEI in your organization, they started scrubbing their website of any language that could be interpreted as DEI because they didn't want to lose out on the opportunity to continue to save lives of veterans by giving this drug away for free.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you see how there's not a clear and easy answer?
No.
Right. Yeah.
No.
It's and I have to be very careful with my language when I am presenting, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I am going to say when I'm talking about gender identity is now a protected class, just like race. And so any of those words can be substituted for each other.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't use a racial slur against someone, then you cannot refuse to use their pronoun. You cannot tell them which bathroom they should go in. And I want to say something really serious about bathrooms. This is really on my heart because I do this work. Wash your hands. When you go to the bathroom, I want you to wash your hands. Any bathroom you go in, anybody, whoever you are, wash your hands. And I mean it.
That is not where I thought you were going.
I mean it. Just wash your hands when you go to the bathroom. And the other thing that I think about bathrooms is that we all determine our own identity. Nobody can tell us who we are. And we all determine what bathroom we go in. And so if you are uncomfortable in a bathroom, then go and find a single stall restroom. There are a lot of unisex restrooms that a lot of companies have put in, and a lot of concert venues and that kind of thing have done that as a way for people to feel more comfortable. So yeah.
So then when we're talking about this, how does one now, if they're feeling the pressure of there's some unjust happening, and I feel like this unjust is happening because of either my race or somewhere in the diversity piece, I'm in there. I'm not a white man, I'll put it like that. So I feel like I'm feeling that pressure. Who and how now do we report this information to? Because like you said, most people are like, shh, like you got to talk about it in the corner now. So how does this work in the workplace or what do you suggest? Like if you were talking to a group of people and you're saying like, look, if you're experiencing this is what you should do now. How do we have those conversations and what should be done?
That is an excellent question. And so prior to January 20th,
Mhm.
I would have said file an EEOC complaint,
Mhm.
Equal Opportunity Employment Commission, and they oversee Title VII.
Mhm.
So the first thing I would say, and what you need to know is that EEOC is now going through the ringer with this administration. They're firing people. They're trying to take away their authority. But first of all, I would say look and see if you are in a protected class if it fits harassment.
Okay.
So people use the term toxic work environment all the time. That's not a legal term. Throw that out. It's an emotional term.
You can't use it.
You don't use that.
Yeah.
Because it's emotional.
Right.
And it comes from a place of anger or hurt.
Uh-huh.
But if you use the term hostile work environment,
Mhm.
there is so much case law to back hostile work environment.
Okay.
And what hostile work environment leads to is harassment. And harassment falls under, sexual harassment, which is and let me just get on my little soapbox here about sexual harassment.
Mhm.
Do y'all remember when you first started watching those videos
Yes.
about sexual harassment? What did
Yeah.
they look like?
Dated.
Uh-huh.
And then typically everyone in there was white.
An aggressive man touching.
Touching a secretary
Yeah, or saying
after
something.
hours, creepy,
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
that you
The
just
music,
said.
all of that.
Yeah.
White man, white woman,
Secretary somehow.
and he's like massaging her shoulders. Y'all,
Yeah.
who can sexually harass somebody?
Anyone.
Who can be sexually harassed?
Anyone.
What color are they?
Any color.
Every color.
How old are they?
Oh,
Any
any
age.
age.
What level of job do they have?
It can be any.
Mm-hmm.
And so those were ridiculous,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They were so ridiculous. And so we need to think about that. And we need to think, because the internet has changed everything.
Yes.
And a big form of harassment at work now from colleague to colleague
Mhm.
is just hating online
Mhm.
and bullying online,
Mhm.
or it's sexting,
Mhm.
it's texting memes,
Texting memes,
sharing videos about a colleague
Yeah.
and then like leaving them out.
Yeah.
But
that happens at school. They take that seriously. You can be expelled because of that.
yeah.
What, of sharing a meme?
Sharing memes, sharing videos. Like there was a young man who is in a special needs classroom, and one of the students took a picture of him while he was in the bathroom.
Now, why would he do that?
Because I guess something was happening with him in the bathroom, like maybe he was having an episode or something. But to the kid, he's thinking it's funny, recorded it, and then inside of a school building, once it's recorded and they hit send,
Yeah,
it
it's going
spreads
everywhere.
like the plague. It's like that, and he got expelled. Like you can't do that type of stuff. And there was another gentleman who recorded a teacher. He felt as if the teacher was singling him out. And so he recorded other students doing what he was being singled out for. And it actually got flipped because you recorded without permission.
Without their consent.
And so then now he almost got in trouble for that. Like, the stuff that's on the phone is, I learned a lot from school because they're like asking people, do you want to press charges? And they're like, whoa, there's charges that can be pressed because of this?
And I guess that's my question too, because where is the line? Like, if someone feels like they're being harassed and they're documenting the harassment, is that allowed, or is it just like you have to take their word for it?
And in North Carolina, you can record in a workplace without consent. What you can't do you can't record minors.
Okay.
And so, and the other thing I want to say, I'm glad you brought up school. And I was a school assistant principal before I was worked in HR. And so our kids in schools do not have the same rights that workers have. So, we have the Crown Act to protect hair, which is just from a few years ago,
Yes,
by
it
the
is.
way. Just like that was even before the Pregnancy Workers Fairness Act. We're protecting hair before we're protecting women. Let's be really clear here.
Yeah.
And so, I think one of the things when I'm presenting these topics and telling people what their rights are, because that's how I go in and talk about anti-harassment and talk about workplace laws is you have so many rights. Now it means you have responsibilities to uphold that. So everyone has their rights, but I inevitably, and I've learned now to be proactive and say, but school children do not have these same rights, because I used to have parents say, wait a minute, my kid was told she can't have this hairstyle, or my son was told he has to cut his hair. They don't, and a school can say that. Now schools can have policies. It sounds like your school has a policy, but it is not law like it is in the workplace. So there is no Crown Act for children. There is not gender identity protection legally for children in public schools, private schools. Some schools have a policy, and more universities are having policies for protection. But yeah, so our children do not have the same rights as we do as workers.
So then the line between policy and law, how do I want to phrase this question? Is this what we're seeing this administration play with?
Yes. That's why I started with DEI as policy, but they're conflating it with protected classes with what they're doing with the military.
Gotcha.
With transgender.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You're 100 right there.
And see, that's where, like, I feel as though a lot of people, as you said, internet runs everything as far as what is and what isn't, even though there are policies and laws. So when you hear somebody say something like, in North Carolina is an at-will state, where does that fall into where somebody may use that to do some backhanded, mess to get someone fired or something like that? Do you still have rights when we are considered a at-will state?
Yes, you do. There is still anti-retaliation policy laws, anti-retaliation, like that's law. So if you
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
For those that aren't in North Carolina, can we explain what an at-will state is?
Yes. So at will, we do not have, we are employment at will, meaning that an employee is hired and it is at will for the employer to dismiss them it's without cause, but you really, if you are an ethical employer, you really should have documentation, because anybody can sue anybody for anything. A lot of people are like, you can't sue for that. Yes, you can. If you find a lawyer to take your money,
right?
You can sue for anything. Okay. Doesn't mean you'll win.
Right.
But you, so that's what at will is. And it also means that we don't have labor unions. There are a few places that have labor unions in North Carolina, but it means that they usually have a headquarters in another state, or that they have, like there's a nurses union, but that is part of a federal one. And so some North Carolina nurses.
That's like that with the post office, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it's that kind of thing. So but it still means that, yes, you are not, we don't have involuntary servitude in America. So you can leave. A lot of times people think, I have a contract, I can't leave. No, that you can. And so it also, another thing about at will is, yes, you can be terminated without a lot of notice. There should be some documentation on that. But there's a myth that a lot of people think that your employer cannot say anything negative about you.
Yeah, that I believe. I am one of the people that have said that before. Like, they shouldn't be able to say anything negative about you. So moving on, they can?
They can say the truth.
Okay.
So here are the questions that someone who is doing a reference check is going to ask. And I can tell you, this is what I ask as an assistant principal. First question I always ask: is this person rehireable? Or would you, do they have rehire status? That pretty much tells me, if they say no, that tells me a lot, right?
Right.
So, there's so many questions that you can ask. Now they can say, I'm going to give a neutral, reference and just tell you the dates they were employed, what their job title was, and that kind of thing. But you, even with a neutral one, you can say, are they eligible to be rehired? And if they say, I'm not going to say that, that sometimes tells you something too.
Yeah,
and
something's
sometimes
up.
they'll say, like, I wasn't here when that person worked here. And so that's fair enough.
Okay.
But they absolutely can say anything. They can say he was late 10 times. One of the easiest ways to fire people is if they're late. Really. So, I can tell you, years and years ago, I worked in a school. This was before I was an assistant principal, and there was a bookkeeper who pretty much everybody knew that she was cooking the books and stealing the books and all kinds of things.
Okay.
And the way the principal finally got rid of her is documented. She was late 3 times and said, you're in charge of the office. This is a safety issue because the kids come in here in the morning and check in who need their medication from school. And so that's
Dang.
easy. Super easy. So
Bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then how do we, as just everybody who falls underneath DEI,
Yeah.
how do we move knowing now that it is something that is supposed to be in the shadows by this administration? How do we still uplift it and still make sure that it is relevant, even though we may not be able to specifically talk about it?
Yeah.
Because, next thing you know, somebody's losing some federal funding or something. But
Yeah,
how do we still keep it going, in your opinion?
Yeah. So I think we all need to check our own privilege, and we all have some privilege. Even we may think, I don't have any privilege, based on my race, my neighborhood I live in, or whatever it is. We all have some privilege. And I'll give you an example. My wife did this today. She owns a residential construction company. So most of her employees are brown and black. And her, this is a fun fact, y'all. Do you know that almost all of our brick masons in North Carolina, and we have a lot of brick here. We have really good looking brick. If you've been to North Carolina, they're almost all black.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So she hires a lot of subcontractors. I've never seen a white brick mason. They might exist. I don't know. But anyway, she has a lot of brown and black employees and subcontractors. And so a lot of her brown employees are from Honduras. And so she had an employee today who was really upset because his wife was very sick. They spent the whole night in the emergency room, and they were trying to get by with, he speaks pretty good English, but he doesn't read English. And so when he got the prescription to get her medication, he realized it was out on Capitol Boulevard because they had used, so it's like way out in Raleigh, like 45 minutes. He's like, oh my gosh, I got to get out there. I'm going to miss work. And Amy said, well, my wife, Amy said, did you ask for a patient advocate who speaks Spanish? He was like, what? And he's like, well, they know that I speak English. And she's like, yeah, but you don't read it. You read Spanish. And your wife doesn't speak English. So did you ask for that? You can ask for that, y'all. Ask for that. And so that's what we can do is we can recognize what is our privilege and share it with others. And so just anything, like you're able to get a loan, like to buy a house. Take somebody else through. I'm not saying sign for your for your creepy uncle. I'm saying take people through these things. If you look at the policies of the places that you're applying to when you are applying for jobs, look at, do they have brown people? Do they have black people? Do they have queer people? Do they have people who look like you and you are going to be able to identify with?
Right.
So yeah, I think we all need to check our privilege and use it for other people. One of the things we're doing, my wife has just the softest spot in her little white heart for all of Central and South America and all the world.
Mhm.
But so two of our very close friends, some gay male couple in Miami, they were so excited. They're getting married. We're going December. We're super excited. We talked to them the other night, and they were devastated because one of the groom's parents said they don't feel like they can come because his mother's undocumented. They have they have lived here, and this man went to college here. He was through the DACA program, you know, all of that, the Dream Act.
Yeah.
So he's afraid that the dad's afraid that, you know, even though he has a license, that they'll get pulled over on the interstate from Virginia to Miami. That's a long trip.
That's a long trip.
Or issues with ID, you know, flying, all that. My wife didn't bat an eye. She's like, all right, we'll go get your mama.
What?
Yeah. So 4.5 hours north to Virginia. How far is it to Miami? I don't even know. 12, 14 hours. And his mother doesn't speak English. My wife speaks construction Spanglish. So they're going to be talking about nails and ladders a whole lot. And
But that's so kind of her.
But she was like, we're checking our privilege.
Yeah.
We're privileged.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So his mom is able to go to his wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
So did I answer any of your questions,
You did.
Kim?
You definitely did.
Because I just told you what I think about the world.
Yeah, and that's okay. It answered the question because that's where I'm kind of at now. I am a person that believes that this administration is putting us in a position to actually have to care for one another a lot more than what we may have in the past, because we're going to have to move around some of the things that are being made to seem that are law, but in actuality, this is not law. And to be able to challenge that, we're going to have be able to have people who can say and advocate in spaces to say, that's not right. You know what I mean? And if we don't have it, then we're going to succumb to the nonsense and rhetoric that's being spewed from the top down. So but I also believe that we are in a time where we're going to have to do what you said, which I feel is the most important part. We're going to have to read and understand policy, because a lot of people just assume and hear what somebody has said.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, that's not in the book. And we need to get these books. We need to get our HR manuals and things like that. Like, I think it's imperative now when we're talking about DEI and things like that. What is actual policy that's written from your place of employment?
Yes.
So that you don't get bullied into something or thinking something that's not even true.
Absolutely. And so harassment is illegal in the workplace. Bullying is not. Bullying is a bad idea. It's disrespect, and it can lead to harassment, which is illegal. And so one of the things you can do is, first of all, familiarize yourself with Title VII. It's really short, but it just says that what your rights are, what the protected classes are for workers in America. And I'm not going to say American workers. That is anybody who is working in America, whatever your nationality is. And so I would say do that, understand Title VII, and then also ask for anti-harassment training at your place of employment. And it's best practice to have it every 2 years, because things are added. And a lot of people don't, and especially, and I'm an HR consultant with small to mid-sized businesses, and some of the businesses don't know that once they reach 50 employees, this is a small example, but they have to have a wellness room for lactation for nursing mothers. So once you have 50 employees, it cannot be a bathroom. It has to have a lock. It has to have a place accessible to put pumped breast milk in, a refrigerated area. It cannot be a parking lot.
Mhm.
It has to have a, either a shade on the window
Mhm.
or a solid door.
Mhm.
So I was at a manufacturing company the other day and they said, yeah, we're growing. We just hit 55 employees and they have literally 4 women there. It's manufacturing.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times,
Mhm.
it's that's just
Mhm.
they're men. And this
Right.
is heavy equipment, that kind of thing. And they still need to have that. So they don't have to have it 12 months a year, but they have to be able to very quickly produce it when needed. And it shouldn't have to be asked for.
Mhm.
Because not all employees know what their rights are. We don't do a good job in America of teaching people what their rights are as
Yes.
employees. And we don't always advocate for ourselves as employees.
Mhm. Mhm.
Are there general rights that you can go to any job with, or is it just depending on what job you're in? That's what they're stating.
Yeah. So I would say start with Title VII because those are laws that you have that protect you on the protected classes. So your race.
Okay, so
that
that's the
kind of
main
thing.
one. Yeah.
And so I would say start there.
Mhm.
And then it's really going to be policies based on based on the employer. And our government used to do a better job than they're
Right.
doing right now.
Mhm.
And so the government attracted a lot of people of color, attracted a lot of people who were queer once gender identity and sexual orientation were included. And now those are the people who are feeling the most oppressed
Yes.
in our government
Yes.
workers pool. Yeah.
So now, to sum all of this up, what do we tell those that, I guess we may have even touched on it, but what do we tell those that are fearful of this administration and what is to come in the future based upon what we are currently seeing? Because we are saying that some of these policies are law. What do we say to those people that are now in that state of fear? Because now it has this is shocking people seriously.
Yeah.
And it has shaken employers because, like you said, now
yeah.
people know, like, oh, well, I'm not trying to lose my federal funding, so
And I
then
don't want to be sued.
yeah, I don't want to be sued. Get this shit out of here. So now, how do we make this adjustment? Like, can we make this adjustment on paper?
And to piggyback off of what you're saying, what is the statement that you give to your current employees where it's like, this may have been in the forefront, it may have been on the websites, but then now we're seeing all of it disappear. So what's the communication that needs to go out to the
Correct.
team to be able to say, no, we still support you, but we got to make sure we secure this funding so you can stay.
Right.
You know.
And I think it's words like that.
Okay.
And to just say that they can still continue their employee resource groups. And so their employee resource groups, the Black engineers, the pride group, the queer group, things like that. They can do that when at this point still. But I think companies have to be very clear. Costco's done it.
Yes.
Trader Joe's has done it.
They have.
Like
yes.
they
Ulta.
can do it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So another thing, like one of the things I did last week or 2 weeks ago with a client is I had a client coming in from Texas. And I think the Lord is trying me and testing me. And I'm a good Episcopalian woman. I really am. And Jesus is all right with me. And I'm all right with Jesus and all these things. And, I'm a recovering Pentecostal,
Yes, come on,
from
Pentecostal.
from my childhood, oh God, that was a lot of therapy. Jesus. Anyway, but I digress.
He took you back to a place. I'm sorry.
It took me back.
I'm so sorry.
Oh God, I'm back at Pentecostal camp. The boys are on one side, the girls on the other. I'm happy. All the little girls are over there. It's Yeah.
Come back to us, Sally.
But
Come
the sweaty preacher's up there and he's like doing weird shit behind the canoe stand. Anyway, I'm sorry. Don't we have commercials? Commercials. Who's funding this? Don't we have some cat food after this?
Come back to us, Sally. You went too deep. You went too deep.
Remember how I told you about those comments after a couple glasses of Cabernet? You know, I did bring a little something in my cup here. I brought enough to share with all of the members of the class. So don't think badly of me. So we're talking about religion. What are we talking about? What's
About the correspondence to the employees when DEI disappears.
Okay, yes. Okay. When DEI. And I was talking about what my client from a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So my client, I was doing an event and so I told her, I said, one of the ways that I want to support DEI when I literally cannot say DEI in some of the places that I am working right now as a consultant is when you hired me to do this, to put on this event, I'm going to at least 80% of the vendors and of the supplies. I am going to support women-owned businesses, queer-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses. And I think you'll see, and I do that generally anyway, but I'm feeling more compelled to do that right now. But just to keep within a reasonable budget, there was 20% that I allotted for like Trader Joe's and Costco. And I told her, I said, you will not see receipts from places that might be cheaper, like Walmart. You're not going to see Home Depot on my list, and places at Target that have been very clear that they are not supporting DEI efforts. And so that's a place where I'm also checking my privilege, right? As a consultant, like I'm saying where my client's going to spend money.
Right.
And I'm saying I am not going to support places that don't support the people I support.
So let me ask you this, because that's a good question. And just to get your opinion, and Kim as well. So let's say like a place where Target, they used to speak highly on the fact that they had a lot of minority-based businesses that they put up. Do we look at them and say, well, let's see their numbers of, how many minority-owned businesses are still there, if that has changed, or how many, Black, brown, and women, how many people that now all of a sudden their employee rate has changed? Do we research things like that before we say we're not going to deal with it? Because there are still products of businesses on the shelves that support minorities. So how do we balance that? Because we don't want to not see somebody who has worked their ass off to get on a Target or a Walmart shelf. And now we're like,
or Amazon.
Yeah, or Amazon. And then now we're like, but hold on, man, we're kind of caught. If we support that, then we're supporting this. And it's like, but my stuff's on the shelf. I need you to buy. So what would be your suggestion to balance that?
I would say know who some of those products are made by. So Target isn't the only place that is carrying some of those products. Many of those, and there was a big push for a while from Target to have Black women owned businesses, and Black businesses in general, but Black women owned. And so go to their websites and buy directly. A lot of times you can do that. And so I would say be really aware of where your money is going.
Yes.
Because if you show me your credit card statement or your bank account, I can tell you what your values are. You can do that for yourself.
Yeah.
And where are you spending your money?
Ulta.
Ulta.
I just spent so much money at Ulta.
But your hair looks good. Always. It is always on point. Every time. Every time. So yeah, I'd say, we've got to vote with our dollars. We've all heard that, but now more than ever,
Yes.
because for some people, it's a matter of their business surviving or not.
Correct. Yes.
And so what businesses do we want to see survive?
So you brought up a good point. So then should we be pushing that some of these businesses who are in these places, make sure you have direct to consumer purchasing to where we can go straight to you versus being on these shelves. Because, a lot of people don't even think about that.
No.
And I'm just trying to get on the shelf because it comes with a contract.
But then they also need to be aware of how much money they're not making, and that's going directly to whichever store that they've done business with. So it's like, it would be smart for you to have the direct to consumer. Because the young lady, I can't remember her name is Danielle, but I can't remember what her business is, but she pulled from the Target shelves when everything came down. But you go on her website, everything is sold out because people immediately went to her website and was like, well, I'll just buy all my stationery needs directly from you instead of going into Target to buy it. Now everybody else might not do that, but I do think it's a really smart thing because it's also been asked of people to do the same with Amazon because most of those stores are listed. You just go directly to the store and buy from them.
Cool.
I'm sorry, Sally. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. No, thank you for preaching my sermon.
Yeah.
This is y'all, I feel this deep in my soul. Just as much as I believe you should be washing your hands in bathrooms. Y'all, I go in manufacturing. Those boys don't wash their hands.
I've said it
either. Women are nasty.
I said it millions of times.
Really?
Yes.
It's the men that I
Men
see.
too.
I hear the flush and then I see the door come out.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it happens a lot. I've said it on this show. In school.
Okay. Middle school boys, girls, all in between. It's no better.
But I've had my share of seeing women when they just walk right out, and then even airports are so nasty.
Oh,
I see
Everybody's
so many
in a
people.
hurry.
They'll walk right out, and I'm like, you are touching everything.
Then they come out like, "What's up?" and want to shake your hand.
Oh God! When I do not blame anyone for traveling in airports with their mask and having there was one lady that had her mask and gloves, hand sanitizer. I don't blame you because baby, I might do the same thing. It's just nasty. And the bathrooms are oh God. Boston had one of the nastiest fucking bathrooms I've ever seen in my life. It's terrible.
I'm sorry, we digress.
I'm sorry. Now I went too deep. Sorry, I'm back.
It's okay. It's okay. And my last question is, how do you see us getting through this? Or how do you see us getting through this? Because we got 4 years of it. How do you see us, or how do you envision us getting through this time with this DEI mess, with just not being inclusive to people's, or not wanting to be inclusive to people's rights? Because there are people, even though it's being spewed by Trump and his administration, there are other people who support this, and now they feel empowered because the president is saying it.
Yeah.
So how do you foresee the next 4 years? And then how would you say, this is how we're going to navigate this if you were talking to a group of people right now?
Well, I'd say I loved what you said earlier when you said that this is going to make us be more compassionate and take care of each other. Our government is not coming to save us, y'all.
No.
Yeah.
And so it starts in our homes first and talking with our family about what our values are. And my family is my wife and my 3 dogs. And I have a dog in a wheelchair. My dog is just disabled. You know what? He's not covered by laws. But anyway, I will say, I tried to say that when we went in a hotel and they didn't have a disabled room because I needed wider entryways for his wheelchair. And I was like, I called ahead and I said my dog was disabled. And the guy, it scared him. He was like, I know that we have laws. I was like, no, we really don't for dogs. But I think it's us taking care of each other in our homes first and talking about what our values are and talking about where we spend our money and then doing that in our community and also knowing that we have federal judges who are standing up against Trump and saying, and his administration, and saying, this is unlawful what you're doing. This is happening more and more and more.
Mhm.
And so, we can say it looks like the playbook of Hitler, what he's doing, but Hitler had two things on his side that Trump does not.
Mhm.
And I think that's why Trump will not be successful. And you said 4 years. I don't see Trump having 4 years.
Mhm.
I really don't.
Neither
I
do
don't
I.
either.
I just don't see him making it.
I don't either.
But Hitler had two things. Hitler had the military on his side.
Mhm.
Trump's losing that.
Yeah. Yes.
He doesn't have that.
Mhm.
And Hitler had the propaganda, and we know that
Mhm.
Trump has the propaganda, but we have the checks and balances of we can check the propaganda,
Mhm.
and the people of the world at that time could not.
Right.
Mhm.
They did not have the internet,
Mm.
and the world was not as small as it is now.
Mhm.
People hadn't traveled as much. They didn't know people in other countries like we do now.
Mhm.
And so that I don't think we will have 4 years of this, but I'd say know what your values are, know what
Mhm.
your rights are, know what the laws are, and choose for your employment, choose companies
Mhm.
that have the policies that
Mhm.
align with your values
Mhm.
and who you are. During the pandemic, I had a group of HR specialists. We would meet on Sunday nights, just talk through the
Mhm.
crazy stuff that we
Mhm.
were all just trying to get through, like trying to save our employees' jobs. How are we we're all working differently. What are we doing?
Mhm.
And there was one company that was over and over hiring HR people, and they were literally paying double the market
Mm.
rate, and it was crazy. And it was because they couldn't keep people in HR because they were doing so many just unethical things,
Mhm.
like making women with COVID who were pregnant work with COVID, and so they had employees die. And so it's a very large company, and I won't say what
Mhm.
company it is, but we all agreed and that we would never work for them, no
Mhm.
matter how much money they offered,
Mhm.
because we would not compromise who we were, because we could not as HR people defend the way they were treating
Mhm.
workers in America.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I'd
Is
say
this a popular company? Is it well known? Can you say
well
that?
known.
Well known. Okay.
Mhm.
Well known. They have a very big presence in our area.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and they had employees die because of their warehouse conditions as well. So, we have more power than we think.
Right.
Mhm.
We really do. Just like Miss Messy, girl, I told you.
Yes, bring it back.
I told you have more power. You got the next 3 years to figure out what you want to do. We have the same.
Yeah.
We
do.
have more power and agency than we know.
Mhm.
So align yourself with like-minded people. Don't align yourself with people who all look like you.
Mhm.
Right.
Do not.
Mhm.
They should not all be from your same background. They should not be your same age.
Mhm.
They should not be your same race, your same religion, because you're going to be in an echo chamber.
Mhm.
You need the strength of diversity.
Mhm.
And that is the presence of difference.
Oh.
Great. So then let me shoot you out, or how do we shoot you out in case somebody wants to bring you in to talk to their employees?
I'm Sally Starfield with 2 R's, and I'm on LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn, Sally Starfield with 2 R's.
Dope. When are you coming back?
When will you have me back?
The door is always open.
Always open. Whenever
Thank
you like.
This is a good
Mhm.
time.
I'm so glad. Glad you said yes.
I love it. Y'all are fun.
Appreciate
Y'all
it.
can't even help it.
No.
You're
We
just so
can't.
fun, you can't
It's-
help it.
Yeah, this is every day.
We got so many things we could talk about, y'all.
I mean, you are so welcome to come back.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Have you told your audience about when we were guest professors at NC Central?
So I told them like the edited,
I was
short
say we got
version.
the good stuff. Was there something else that we didn't get?
Well, and I will say this is another way that I advocate is I worked at Duke for 14 years.
Mhm.
I'm very, very tied to the educational community, but every chance I get, I try to bring in HBCUs
Mhm.
and to highlight them. And
Mhm.
and I think that's important as a white
Mhm.
woman to do that.
Mhm.
And so like an event I was doing last week for a client, I brought in the jazz ensemble from North Carolina Central. They are amazing,
Mhm.
y'all.
Mhm.
Hire them. They are so good. They will class up your joint. They
Mhm.
are so impressive. It was the band that was here for our American Underground
Got you.
party.
Okay.
I know you said some words about them, Ken.
I did, because they set up right outside the dang window, and as soon as 6 o'clock hit, they hit the drums. I'm like, what the hell? But they were good though. But it was like right here of all the places, right there.
Yep. They're highly talented, classy affair.
Yeah.
The mayor was there.
Uh-huh.
Loved it. The mayor was in that band when he was in college. I just learned that
Oh,
last
really?
week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to get to him too.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
But
He
let's
needs to
talk
be in
to-
that seat.
Let's talk to Leo. We'll call Leo.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get Leo over
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I just saw him last week. He's
Yeah.
awesome.
He needs to be in that seat.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these politicians need to be in this seat.
Yeah.
Like, let's have some conversations. Just saying.
Yeah.
Got to connect with your community. And with that being said, I'll be here tomorrow. Ken won't.
Yeah. I'm
But,
sorry, guys. I have a board meeting now to go to.
This guy. But we have the healing consultant in the building. We will be talking with her and more promos, more deals, more healing, because pain shouldn't be permanent. And yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.
And I'll be back on Thursday, and we got more of the messy,
The nightmare dating profiles.
because those are
Yes.
terrible. So
The continuation.
yeah, so keep it locked for the next couple days. This is TDS Radio. Y'all have a good night. Peace.